You need to stop pushing, stop locking in, thinking that that is the only solution to your life's qualms and miseries. I am honestly super fed up with the grinding culture, the pushing hard and things will come, the just dominate and go and go and go. And then one day, once you have it all, you'll feel fine. You'll feel good. Because the thing that I have an issue with is it's such a narrow focused direction to grind, to grind, to push, to push. And for what? People say it's to, I don't know, get money, escape, whatever, do this, etc. Be happy. Maybe it's a physical thing where they're pushing their physical progress every day. They're locking in at the gym, you know? And I just, I used to be much like this, but something has changed drastically. And I see that there's a completely different way to go. You can still push. You can still work hard. You can still do all these things. But if your entire emphasis, if your entire direction is associated to pushing, then there will never be a point in the future where you'll be satisfied. Because once you have this next accomplishment, you will then choose to push even further. Then you'll choose to push even further. If you're only pinpointing your sense of self and accomplishment on these achievements, then how would you ever be satisfied when you're not achieving? You know, your goals, your accomplishments, these things that you work towards. Suppose you're grinding at your job for a sense of, let's go, I don't know, take a vacation. Let's go buy something expensive that I've always wanted. Let's go do this, XYZ. I am grinding to get something. I am grinding because I want to feel the sensation when I cross that marathon. I am grinding because people are doubting me. I'm grinding because I just want more. You know, when you achieve more, when you get more, when you get what you desire, the moment occurs for a blip. It does not linger. You feel like you accomplished it, sure. But then you'll set yourselves on to the next thing because it's not the accomplishment that you're actually after. You're secretly after and in love with the grind of it. You're obsessed with this notion of pushing forever, you know? But all your emphasis is on the end. And no wonder whenever you accomplish, you need to fill your life up with just another thing to push for. What if you lived in a world where instead of needing an achievement to validate you, needing to grind to have something to work towards, what if you lived in a world where you can just take a breath and appreciate just walking on the street, some mundane thing, and looking around at your feet and appreciating how you can actually breathe and exist in this world, and just start to refocus where you're targeting in life. We're often targeting these futuristic goals expecting to live in this world of happiness and luxury of, you know, once we push here, we're going to get there and it'll be okay. But the problem is the action of you just constantly associating with this grind. When you're at that future point, you'll just want to keep grinding because you're never satisfied. That's right. You'll keep pushing, you'll keep pushing, you'll keep trying to just dominate. And, you know, when will you be happy? These bodybuilders that, you know, they're never happy. They're always trying to push for more. They're always trying to attain. You know, what is the cutoff? The people that are longing for financial security as that's their entire basis of living. You know, of course it's a spectrum, but I mean, a lot of people in the world do, in the Western world, do have needs met. But they are obsessed with this idea of consumerism and buying more. They need more, more, more. And in turn, it just, that obsession almost gets them more into debt. So then they have to, in turn, keep grinding and grinding and pushing and pushing. And, you know, there's this obsession with, like, needing more. And it's this needing more that is truly plaguing people's lives. You are enough right now as you are. If you feel like you are enough, then when you walk through life of work and progress and achievement, if you already felt like you're enough, then when you get these things, these are just like happy little accidents, to quote Bob Ross, you know? Like, but the main goal is like you just felt secure, you felt happy in your own right. And I know it sounds ambiguous. How do you achieve, you know, security and happiness in your own right? It is a process, I will say, to like decouple from this idea where you have to have a constant grind. But I think you can get there. You just have to think about what your actions are actually working towards. Why are you choosing to want to have as much money as you want? Is it to fill this void that you feel but you can't articulate? Is it so that the prospect that you can do anything in your life? But then suppose you can do anything in your life, you're going to still have the same misery with respect to happiness and just like existence. Like you're still plagued as a human. You are still yourself. Your mind does not change. Only your external circumstances do. Any materialistic thing, like joy, comes from a second. When you get your new TV, you cherish it deeply and suddenly forget that you even had a new TV. Like, I don't think what we're actually after from our grinding, like I think we're all after the same thing, but too much weight is put into this idea of grinding and greatness. Because once you push and achieve, you know, it just doesn't feel the same. And I'm talking only on this perspective, but maybe I should go a bit like deeper into the contrary to it. Like I'm envisioning a world where you are doing stuff for yourself. I'm envisioning a world that you're just operating on your curiosity like you were once a kid. Not this like pushing to achieve something, that a goal that other people like somehow value, but and then because they value it, you want to achieve it. You know, why are you doing what you do? Question your actions, you know? Are you working at your job for your family? That's a good, you know, it's a good thing. Are you trying to work your job and climb this ladder just to like have a sense of accomplishment? Well, I don't know, that won't really last for long once you do get that next promotion or this like validation. You can find that in yourself, you know. You can find that in yourself, and it's long lasting, because this sense of self validation is not just in a fleeting moment. This sense of self validation occurs in every single waking hour of your life. You just feel content and happy because you are you. You don't exist because of other people. You don't exist for other people. You don't do stuff to, you know, attain some like material goal. It's just you, yourself, and your own being. You do stuff for others because you want to, not because you have to get this next goal. You do stuff for yourself and you rest. You learn to rest. You learn to just appreciate that the more you push, the faster the time goes. You learn that if you're someone like this, you learn that when you actually rest, real life can be lived. When you're constantly plagued by the idea of achieving, or achieving some sort of great form, you'll just cease to achieve at all. There's this concept of the harder you try to get something, the further away you are. And I think it's because these are people that aspire to be great, whatever that even means. The job will be never done. In their own eyes, the more that they accomplish, like the further away they are, because they know how much more they can do. And I think it's just a dangerous game if you want to play like that. I think you can totally choose to play the game where you don't choose to like be something like great and demanding or whatever. You can just choose to just be you and inadvertently achieve something great in your life by just listening to yourself, by being curious, by, just flowing with the way that you are happy to flow in the world, and not forcing something to happen, not grinding something to happen. Are you willing to actually make the change for yourself, not anyone else, not some other crazy meaning because you want to, I don't know, change and all this stuff? You really have to do stuff for yourself, and you have to learn to rest. You have to. If you can't rest, there will be a point in the future where life will force you to. The harder that you push, the larger the potential burnout will be. If you are able to rest along the way, you will be someone who will seldom be burnt out of life, because along the way you were stopping to smell the roses. I never understood what that meant before. I understand it now. It just means exist and appreciate your surroundings. Notice the smaller things. Notice that dog on the street that is looking at you silly and walking weird. That is where life is lived. Look at the birds in the sky that are flying around you. Life is all around you, but you're just choosing to be obsessed with this idea of grinding and pushing. And then you're wondering, why don't I feel good about life? Why do I feel like I need more? It's because you're actively resisting life. you're actively choosing not to see it for what it is. I would encourage you today or anything just to stop, pause, disconnect from technology which is distracting you from what the life is around you, and just sit and look. Notice the room that you're in. Notice the walls. Maybe you've seen some cracks that you've never even noticed before. If you have a plant, look at the plant. How is it doing? Intentionally notice each little leaf and the designs in them and the texture on the couch that you may be sitting in and the way that your fingers move along the pillows. Notice how the leaves or the snow drift in the wind, or the little squirrel outside playing on the tree. Notice how your body rests onto the surface of the chair. You know, when you go to wash the dishes, why are you rushing to even wash the dishes? Are you rushing to go complete them so you can go watch your show? Does that mean you're just rushing to not even experience life? You're rushing to go into this void that will distract you of what life is? Next time you go wash the dishes, take an extra sec. Why are you rushing? They don't need to be done 10 seconds faster. Notice each and every single scrub of the scrubber, the bubbles that play in the sink, and the temperature of the water. You know, be intentional. Start just being. The grinding culture is obsessive and it makes me angry. And when people even, like, I don't even like what I'm doing right now. I'm almost getting up and angry, which is exactly what the grinding culture kind of does a little bit. But I'm getting up and angry at the grinding culture, not with the grinding culture. But anyway, I'm Matthew. Take it easy. Peace.